Hi, everybody. My name is Susan LaCroix. This is my gorgeous daughter, Julie Davison. We are demonstrators and have been for over 20 years, and we live 2 states apart. So thought we'd get together and stamp together and then share with you. So yeah, it's been a great ride so far, and I'm really excited about what we have to show you today. Yeah, it's just going to be fun. We're just trying to kind of wind things up. Today is Sunday, March 12th. So we literally have like 5 or 6 more weeks of the mini catalog. And
It's gone really fast.
Oh, it has gone fast, right? Because the new catalog, the new annual starts in May.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of days of May. So it's now, looking forward to seeing what's new. I love new. I know I'll miss some things because they always seem to retire some of my favorites. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. It's pretty exciting. So Julie, we are together, even though it looks like we're in our studios, which
Yes,
we are right now as we're filming, but on this date, we will be together in St. George, Utah.
I'm so excited about our trip. We've been filming videos early so that we can share with you while we're gone, because pretty much like the first 3 weeks of March, one or both of us is going to be away. So we filmed all these videos early so that we could enjoy our trips, but still share with you. So like Mom said, today we are actually together in person, enjoying the live premiere of this video. But we have pre-recorded this, and Mom, you're getting ready. Well, like I said, you'll be in the middle when this airs of your trip to Arizona, and I'm getting ready to
down.
Yes.
Winding down. Yes.
So then I'll be going to Salt Lake City, Utah for my Million Achiever trip, which I have to say is I can't remember the exact disclaimer. Anytime I talk about it, I'm supposed to say that it's very rare that very few demonstrators achieve the level of sales in order to earn this trip. Um, but so I'm getting ready to do that. And so we are meeting between our trips, between our destinations, and we're going to spend a few days together in St. George, Utah. And I just can't wait to have a couple days in it won't be like really, really warm weather, but warmer than what we're experiencing here back at home. And it'll be just nice to kind of get away together, especially because Jim and I are not going to Norway. So I kind of feel like this is like our little mini trip with you guys. We'll miss being with you in May. But this is I feel like this is sort of like takes the place of that, since we won't get to do that this year.
Yeah. Yeah. It is exciting. And Jim's never been here, right? He's never been to St. George.
He has never been to Utah at all. So I'm excited.
He's been to Salt Lake City. Oh, Utah. Yes.
He hasn't been to Salt Lake City. Dad's been to convention before, but Jim never has. So
this will be exciting.
Yeah.
So I hope he enjoys it.
I think it's going to be fun. He actually has an old coworker that lives in the Salt Lake area. So we're going to get together with him and his wife. They used to live in Illinois and they moved back to Utah, where they're from. So we're excited. We're going to get together for dinner and see them on one of our free nights. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're really looking forward to this week away and kicking it off with our time in St. George. And so today's product that we're going to share with you, the suite, sort of has that Southwest vibe to it. So let's switch the camera over and we'll kick off this video and get rolling here. Sometimes we get so chatty. I think it's easy to get distracted when we start talking. We're doing the Delicate Desert Suite today. And I have to say, this is not one that I would have probably picked out myself, but Sarah and Shelley shared some projects at On Stage with this suite, and I really came around to it after they started showing all the different possibilities. So this is so much fun. This is on page 42 of the January through April 2023 mini catalog. Like Mom says, we're winding down. We've got about 6 weeks left of this mini catalog before it goes away. So usually we know like the designer papers always for sure go away. And sometimes bundles are carried over, but sometimes not. So I would just advise, if you're looking at any of the stuff in the mini catalog, make sure that you get it early, and get the stuff that you want. So we have the stamp set here on page 44 and some additional samples, but let me just go ahead and show you the product in person. We're going to start with that cling mount stamp set. It's a rubber stamp set, Desert Details. And we've got these border dies as well as the flowers, and I just love these sentiments. Sending warm rays your way. Your smile is pure magic. Let the fun begin, and you are what sunshine feels like. I would just love to get a card like that. The dies are even better. We have some dynamic detailed dies here. First, we've got the 2 outline dies that cut out the flowers. Then we have a detailed border die, some other images like a leaf, and then sort of that diamond. And then we've got 2 frame dies, which you can use together or you can use them separately. And it just has some really fun little details and stitching on there. So those are the Desert Details bundle. And then we have the Delicate Desert designer paper. This is a 12 by 12 designer paper with really beautiful colors: Pale Papaya, Calypso Coral, Cajun Craze, Soft Succulent, and Gray Granite. I'm drawn so much to these colors, especially the Cajun Craze, the Pale Papaya. That's my jam. But I think that these patterns are really versatile and could go with a lot of other things, even if you don't get the Desert Detail bundle itself. Then we've got the Dry Brushed Metallic designer paper. This is also 12 by 12, and you get 2 sheets each of the different patterns. We've got some beautiful ribbon. This is the Faux Velvet Trim. We've seen this before in some different colors, including Mint Macaron. This is Pale Papaya. It's 100% nylon ribbon. It's sort of like a fuzzy, tight fuzzy, I guess, velvet on one side, and then kind of smooth on the other side. I don't know that it really works well for tying a bow. Like, I guess you could, it'd be kind of bulky. But I always think of using this ribbon flat across a card. So kind of a fun way to accent your card. And then my favorite is these embellishments, the gold faceted adhesive backed sequins. We've got 4 different shapes here. We've got the little half moons, a small circle, a larger circle, and then the little teardrop shape. And those are all in shiny foil gold. And I think, again, these would go so well with just about any product. I just love how it kind of ties everything together. So that is the Desert Details. Let me show you a few of the card samples that I have. And then we'll kick it over to you. Oh, I want to make sure I'm not showing my card. Okay, so here's one that I made where I combined the 2 frame dies to create a smaller frame. And then I used some gold foil for that diamond. And then here's another one where I stamped in Cajun Craze and Pale Papaya, accenting with those gold sequins. This swap card is from Kay Cogbill, and she used the dry brushed designer paper. I love the really simple layout on this one. Here's a little Z-fold card that I made using some of the more, I feel like they're springy colors with the Calypso Coral and the Pale Papaya. Let me open that really quick and show you the inside. It has a Z-fold like this, and then it opens up with some stamping on the inside. So you can see that flower from the front, and then it opens up and you see it on the inside too. Similar coloring here. This one's from Sandy Jacobson. And the last card is from Celine Kempton, a gatefold card featuring that dry brushed metallic paper. Oh my gosh, so many possibilities. Are you ready to share your card, Mom?
I am. All right. So my card base is 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. Then I have a piece of the Petal Pink. Yeah, 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have a piece of the DSP, 4 1/4 by 3 inches. Just love this. And then a piece of the foil. I had this all laid out so that it would, I'll show you what I did. I used a 5 1/2 by 4 inch piece, and I did the double frame. And so this is the piece that I wanted. And then I waste not want not. So I cut some of the grasses out of the remnants here. All right, let's move some of this aside. This is really a fairly simple card, but I think it's just so pretty. All right, let's start with this guy. And we're gonna fold it in half. All right, now we have a good crease. Stay there, please. All right, that's our inside piece. And so I'm going to stamp, you are the sunshine, or you are what sunshine feels like. So this is gonna go on here. So let me stamp, you are what sunshine feels like. Oh, I also took some of the cardstock and stamped in Flirty Flamingo on the cardstock and then die cut them. And this is that distinctive look. So you stamp once and you get this great shading.
I love that.
All right. Let's get our greeting stamped on. Not upside down, Susan. All right, so I want to stamp this up right about here, I think. Need to leave room. So you are what sunshine feels like. And while I have my ink out, let's do the inside, which is sending warm rays your way. Just want to make sure I'm in camera. I feel like I'm not. I don't know if you can hear our Bella, but she is snoring up a storm.
Oh, I can't hear it all. You're doing good. You could go up just a titch if you wanted to, but we can still see everything.
Okay, yeah, I just want to stamp this so then I can move it up. And then one last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a little flower in the corner here. So that's the inside, and our stamping is done. So now we're going to put this card together. So this is going to kind of go on like this. So I'm going to take some of our liquid glue and just very carefully dot along this, I don't know if you can see the inside of this little design. Dot, 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 dot a lot. Okay. And we'll put this right over here. I wasn't sure, like you, about this designer series paper or even the foil paper. I just wasn't sure about it. You know what I did? I didn't cut this right. I did not cut it right. Okay, let's do this. And I'll show you the sample before why I didn't do that right. I don't know what I was thinking when I prepped this card. So put this on here, like so.
I love that frame.
And then we're going to put this on here like so.
Just scoot yourself up just a little bit more. There you go.
All right. Oh, come on now. All right, so that part is done. Now we're going to put on our flowers. We'll start with this guy. And he's going to go, I'm kind of going over the frame a bit. So, I mean, I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to put this one on here. Right about here. And then the last little guy is going to go on with a dimensional. Got some ribbon there. And then the last thing I'm going to put on is our grass. Here we are. What did I do?
Oh,
Oh, here it is. I left it on the paper. So again, I'm going to carefully put some liquid glue on here. And tuck this kind of behind that little flower I popped up with a dimensional. I should have taken, let me take this off. Put this down here. And then we're going to put that back on.
oh, so pretty.
They're pretty. I just love this. Here, let me just get the inside on real quick. That put away.
Come up just a bit here at the bottom. There you go.
And then the last thing is, of course, some bling.
Of course.
It's me. So I'm going to take some of our sequins that go with the suite. We're going to put a big teardrop kind of off at an angle, actually. And then I'm going to put one here and a little guy under here, kind of peeking out, hopefully. There we go.
Oh, I love it.
Isn't that pretty? So what I meant to do, and I'll show you on this color, because I did another one in blue.
Oh,
Is I meant for the designer series paper to fit here. I don't know why I cut that piece so small, but it's still cardstock. So those are the two that I have. So give me a this or that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
I know, right? So the
This,
succulent or the corals and the pinks. I can't decide either. Okay, I have one more to show you that I made. And that is one that we did in I did for Hostess Club. So this is actually a card on a card.
so fun.
So you are what sunshine feels like. Let the fun begin. And then the inside sending warm rays your way. And with
I love it.
So yeah, it was a fairly simple card. Well, this is actually the flip side of this. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so it's 3 inches by 4 inches, both pieces.
Perfect. I love easy measurements.
Yeah, yeah. And then I can't remember the measurements of this, but it looks like maybe 2 inches or 2 1/4, whatever, squares. So yeah, and just a basic white. So those are my projects. Julie, are you ready to show yours?
I am. I got my heat tool plugged in, so I had to use a different lamp. So hopefully you can see everything okay. We got a lot going on this card. I'm really excited about it. I don't have measurements for you though, because my measurements are pretty straightforward. We got a card base, which is gray granite. That's what I'm using today. Pulled the paper colors from the designer paper. And then I have 2 pieces that are 4 inches by 5 1/4. That's our pretty standard card front. A white one for the inside and a gray granite one for the outside. So I'm going to have like a layer on a layer, like a layer on the front. Color on color is what I think I'm trying to say. And then I've got some die cut pieces ahead of time. I die cut that smaller label. I die cut one of the diamonds with gold foil. And then I was trying to use that dry brushed metallic paper and die cut a frame, except one of my points ended up getting cut off, like it didn't fit the paper. And so instead of just tossing the whole thing, I decided to just cut off one end, and I'm going to use that to tuck underneath our label, just to have like a little bit of a metallic accent. I really like the way that turned out. Then I've got a couple pieces I'm going to use for stamping and punching and die cutting. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. The colors I'm using are soft succulent and gray granite. So I'm going to start first with the big border stamps, and I put them both on a large block. This is Black Eye. And it is one of the largest blocks that we have. So it fits a stamp that's about what, 6 inches, I guess these are little, because this is 5 1/4. So yeah, it's almost a 6 inch stamp set. So or stamp. So I'm going to use the gray granite ink to stamp color on color here with these big borders. And the tricky thing with big stamps is you really just got to make sure that you're inked all the way down nice and even. So this is going to go on the side of the card, and I'm going to just stamp straight down. And then I think I'm going to add a border on the inside as well. So we're going to just do the same thing on the white cardstock. And that's going to go right across the white. That's a little crooked. I had a feeling when I went down, I was like, it's so hard sometimes to stamp. Like normally I just would put my head right over where I am, but the camera's there and you don't need to see the top of my head. Okay, good enough. That's going to be on the inside. On our white scrap, this is 2 3/4 inches by 4 1/4. I'm going to stamp in soft succulent our 2 flowers. So we're going to have some green succulents. Oh, that didn't show the detail quite as much as I wanted to. So let's try it again on the other side. That's a little bit better. My stamp set, for some reason, is cut a little bit off. So I've got like a lot of extra rubber here. And if you have a stamp set like that, you probably just want to give it a little trim with your scissors because it will catch ink and that ink will get on your cardstock, even if you don't push too hard. It doesn't matter right now because I'm going to die cut these. So let me get this out of the way. I'm bringing out Lucy. Lucy's been on a little vacation because Desi kind of took over all my small jobs for a while. But this is Lucy, my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and she works so well for little jobs like this one. So I'm going to die cut these flowers. So sorry I didn't have them done ahead of time. I was realizing as you were demonstrating that I didn't have this done and I couldn't find the flowers I thought I had done. So I'm just going to do it real quick. It's going to be fine. I use little sticky notes to hold the dies in place so that they don't shift. And then you're just going to put that sandwich back on and feed it through to die cut. I love the little mini machine because it's portable. It doesn't take up a lot of room on my desk. It's just right for little jobs. Sometimes the big machine it's just big. Okay. I got my flowers done. The last thing I'm going to do is the sentiment. So for the sentiment I'm going to use, you are what sunshine feels like, and I'm going to do a little gold embossing. Whenever I am introducing color on a card, I try to use it more than once. And so I've got some gold with the foil and the dry brushed, and so I want to use it again for the sentiment. So I'm going to do some embossing. I love our Embossing Additions toolkit, which comes with the small tray, the brush, the tweezers, and the embossing buddy. So I'm going to use the embossing buddy on the cardstock. That's going to get rid of any kind of oil or, stray moisture or whatever that might be introduced because we want the embossing powder to stick only to the stamped sentiment. I'm using Versamark ink, which is a watermark ink pad, and so it's kind of like an invisible ink. You're not going to be able to see it very well, but it will stick to the embossing powder will stick to it. So I'm using some gold embossing powder, and my jar is ancient. Look at this, Mom. Look at that label. Like that's old. Gold glory. I guess I don't emboss a whole lot. I think I had a couple jars and they've just lasted me a long time. But you're going to funnel that back into your jar, and that's why it lasts so long. I do see, though, that my stamp, like I said, it was getting um, too much ink on there. But that's what this little brush is for. You can get in there and really just help brush off any of that extra embossing powder that you don't want, because if you leave it on there, it will emboss and it will show up and not come off after that. So you want to make sure to clear that extra embossing powder before you use the heat tool. I'm going to use my tweezers to hold the cardstock so I don't burn my fingers, and then I'll turn on the heat tool and melt the powder.
You know, I should have embossed my gradient gold as well. I may do that.
That would have been nice. I love watching a gold embossing powder turn, because when it melts, it gets shiny. It goes from dull to, oh, it's like magic. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So as soon as it's all melted, you know it's done. You don't need to heat too much. It shouldn't bubble or anything like that. I'm going to use my rectangular postage stamp punch to punch out the sentiment. And I'm just going to take scissors really quick and just trim so I can get my punch a little bit closer. There we go. Center that. And we are ready to assemble our card. So let's get all of our pieces out here. We're going to start with that front piece. And this is just color on color. I just wanted to add a layer, honestly, in case I messed up on the border stamping and needed to turn it over. But sometimes I just like having an extra little layer just to make it look finished. Use the bone folder for a nice good crease here, even though I pre-scored the cardstock. Same piece is going on the inside so that I can write. I just like to have a little something on the inside, especially on darker cardstock. This is not that dark, but it works. Okay, then we're going to do some layering onto our label. So I'm going to start by adding that brushed metallic bit. This is going to be tucked behind our label, just kind of off to the side there. I'm going to add the gold foil diamond, and that's going to go in the opposite corner, like there. And then I'm going to use regular adhesive on the big flower, and that's going to go up here like that. And we're going to put on our sentiment with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's get those out. And this sentiment is going to kind of overlap the diamond and the large succulent. And then we're going to add one more. The small succulent's going to go down here. I don't want to cover up the diamond too much. I think that's good. I'm going to put that whole label on the card front with some Stampin' Dimensionals, and then we're going to embellish with the gold sequins.
That's a really pretty card, Julie.
Oh, thank you. I really loved the way this one turned out. I was kind of struggling, and we were supposed to originally film this video last week, and I just like, oh my gosh, everything that I started just wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. And then I don't know, you just have like pieces that are left on the table and you just kind of put them together, and it just sort of fell together after so many hours.
I know that feeling well.
Okay, we're going to add some of these sequins, and we're going to do 3. So we're going to do the big teardrop down there. Then we're going to add the smaller circles, and I'm just going to do kind of like the 3 on there. It ties the gold in with the embossing and the gold diamond and a little bit of the gold from the paper.
Very nice, Julie.
Thank you. Let's get this camera turned around and we'll show off our cards together.
There you go.
Oh, who would have thought Delicate Desert would turn out to be such a favorite? But the more that I play with it, the more that I love it. I'm embracing those colors and the imagery. I think both of the ideas that we shared today, though, you could use and substitute different
Absolutely.
images and do the same idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, here we are. We finished another one. It's amazing. This was a fun suite to work with. And I know my club really liked the one we did. They haven't
Oh,
seen this
good.
one yet. I had to hide it. Well, listen, we're going to wind this up and go back to enjoying St. George. So until next Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie, have a wonderful week, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Mom.
Bye, babe.